Jamie, can you believe it was over a year ago that we were working on the 60th anniversary gala?
I know, I can't believe how the time has just flown by, and so praising God that our gala was last spring.
Oh, isn't that
Not spring, last fall.
Last fall, I know.
And not this fall.
Yes, that is so true. Oh my goodness, so much has changed, including this wonderful Bootsma bookstore cafe.
Gorgeous.
Hey, do you want to get a coffee as long as we're here?
Hey, what can I get for you?
Kurt, how are you?
I'm great, how are you?
Good. What are you doing here?
Well, hey, during quarantine, we all try and learn a few new things, so I took up baristaing, sort of.
Wow. Well, hey, we were just coming over for a coffee.
Great, what can I make for you?
So I would love a large vanilla latte, extra hot, soy milk, skim soy milk, a little bit of cinnamon, some pumpkin, yes, with a little bit of whipped cream on top.
Yeah. But only 1% milk.
Oh yeah, 1% milk, but extra hot.
99% soy.
99% soy, but extra hot. Two of those.
Coming right up, I think.
Well, we just want to say a really huge thank you to all of you who helped to make this Bootsma Bookstore Cafe renovation happen, or this refresh happen. It's been such a wonderful project to work on, and it's been great to see how students are already just loving being in this space.
And it was an honor to have the opportunity to co-chair the gala with this fabulous lady here. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees here at Trinity, we are so grateful for all of the support of everyone who contributed to this 60th anniversary gala. Thank you so very much.
Yes, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Hey Kurt, how's that coffee coming along?
Hey, we're ready. So here we are, 2 hot black coffees coming right up. The cream and sugar's down there. And Katie, I'm taking my break now.
Black coffee? Okay, cheers.
So, how's that coffee?
Yeah, this black coffee is pretty spot on, buddy.
Hey, what can I say? Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Trinity's campus for our second conversation from campus. Perhaps you were with us a couple of weeks ago when we were in Trinity's newly renovated nursing space and witnessed that and saw that, got to see the space, talk with professors and learn a bit more about Trinity's incredible nursing program. If you did not see that, however, you can go to the college's YouTube page and see that whole program. So I invite you to do that if you haven't seen it. Well, we're here tonight in the Bootsma Bookstore Cafe. So if you have been around this place for the last, 10 or 15 years or so, you know the BBC. If you were around Trinity's campus before that, we're in Dunlap's. So
right.
That may date you, but it also gives you a sense of reference as to the space that we're in. This past summer, we did some refreshing to this space as well, and it was part of the project, or the funds that were raised from the college's 60th anniversary last year.
Last year, about a year ago at this time.
A year ago, a decade ago, COVID time, who can tell?
Right.
Right, boy, what a difference a year makes. But we're going to give the opportunity to take a look at the space, take a quick tour of it, to hear from some of our students about the space, as well as to hear from someone who really didn't know the BBC, but knew a previous version of the BBC when he was at Trinity, and talked with us a bit about what campus life was like and how important the tab was.
The tab.
The tabernacle.
Tabernacle.
How important that experience was to that generation's Trinity experience. And in many ways, today's BBC is our version of the tab. So without further ado, I think people want to take a look at what this place looks like.
Let's go take a look.
Well, here's the chance that we get to show you a bit about the refreshed BBC.
Yeah, let's go take a peek.
Let's start in the bookstore because it's a great spot on campus and a spot that maybe many who have never even set foot in the space before have ordered stuff. Hats, caps, sweatshirts, license plate covers, you name it. And I think we want one of these, so we'll make sure to come back and check that out later.
This is a dangerous spot.
No, come on now, let's go. We're on a tour,
man.
it's not
okay.
shopping time.
I'll be back, Laura.
So one of the things we tried to do here was to create different sorts of seating options for students, for faculty, and for staff. And so you'll see comfy chairs, you'll see tables to do co-working, and you'll see spaces that are meant to be more cozy. So some more work-based, some more cozy.
And I think what we also know about this space is that it's used in so many more ways than just gathering to get food. I was here the other day. Two of our presidents from our Innovation Club were here sitting at this exact table working on a really fun student activities event that's going to be coming up. So faculty work here, study here, meet with students. Students obviously study here. You popped in on a Zoom class in here the other day.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, so we see faculty meeting here. In fact, there was just one of our faculty members who was here, who were here earlier. You can see some of our staff enjoying some lunch. This is my favorite spot really on campus, or one of them. It's a great spot, especially in the fall and the winter with these wonderful windows and the fireplace. Tough to beat that. And this is another one of the great sort of gathering spaces on campus. So hope that you've had an interesting chance to take a look at it and see how we've kept some things the same, but also made things a little bit fresher and newer, and some ideas with some Trinity colors. So we'll look forward to seeing you in the space, and get your stroller cookies.
That was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us on that tour of this beautifully refreshed BBC.
Indeed. And thank you as well for all who were a part of our 60th Gala last year, for those who contributed to this refresh project, and frankly, those who contributed generally to the college. We raised an incredible amount of money that night, some of which went to this project, others of which went to student scholarships, faculty support, and all sorts of things across campus. But that was a great night.
It was a great night. I think one of the most exciting things for me of that evening was that we had longtime Trinity friends joining us, but we also had people who, that was their first Trinity experience. It was just a wonderful evening.
Indeed, indeed. And you think back, we were celebrating Trinity's first 60 years, and now, of course, we're in our 61st year. And that causes you to be a bit nostalgic and think back about those men and women who decided to start this place, and the courage that it took, and the faith that it took, and the hard work that it took. And one of the benefits I think about being a relatively young institution is that we still have good ties to those early days of the place. A couple of years ago, we lost our last founder, Dr. George DeYoung. So the last connection to the actual founding fathers, if you will, of Trinity Christian College. But we still have alive today the first professor who taught the first class at Trinity, Dr. Dirk Bootsma. And Dirk and Doris actually are both still living, both with us. Dirk is suffering from some pretty significant health challenges, but tomorrow is their 70th wedding anniversary. So
70th.
We want to celebrate that and say happy anniversary to them, and let you know, Dirk and Doris, if you're watching this, that we care deeply about you and are so grateful for the ways in which you have invested in this place really over the decades. So thank you for that. One of the other fun things that happened a year ago at the gala is that Cal Tambling, 72, class of 72, Chicago guy, West Side businessman now, was able to share a bit at the gala about what Trinity has meant to him over these years. And just a couple of days ago, Cal joined me in this space to talk about what the BBC might mean to current students, and how his grandson, for example, and also how today's BBC reminded him, at least the experiences of it, reminded him of what the old tabernacle was like. And so we talked a bit about the tab, we talked about what Trinity means to him, and a whole lot of other good stuff. So I invite you to take a look at my conversation with Cal Tambling. Well, I'm here today with Cal Tambling, class of 1972. We're sitting in the BBC, the newly renovated BBC. Cal, class of 72, businessman. His wife is an alum of the college, kids, grandkids, all sorts of things, and someone who's cared deeply about this place for a long time. It's great to have you on campus today.
Thank you.
So this functionally is kind of our version of the tabernacle. Talk with me about what the tabernacle was.
Well, the tabernacle was a log cabin that was built on the other side of the creek. It was built just so that the kids would have a place to go and get a cheeseburger and sit around and play cards and have bull sessions. And as a matter of fact, my father-in-law, Ted DeVries, was one of the lead guys on building that. They were able to buy this thing somewhere down in Tinley Park, disassemble it, haul it over here, and put it together, and that became the tabernacle.
Nice.
And the tabernacle was where we had great times just hanging out together, but also we had some worship services in there. We had some singing going on in there, card playing, food, great fellowship. It was awesome.
Yeah,
we loved it.
What it sounds like from everything I've heard about it, it was really an important piece of the Trinity experience in that era.
It was.
And the BBC now for more than a decade has become a similar kind of place for our students. And this summer, of course, because of the incredible celebration we had last year for the 60th, we were hoping for 60,000 for 60 years, and we almost doubled that, which is tremendous, and we're so grateful. But my goodness, it's been a wonderful project here to see this kind of space transformed.
And I wanted to see it, knowing we were going to have this conversation, and it looks great. It's got a really nice feel to it. It's much more open right now, and I think it's going to be a great space for students and faculty to get together and do what they do in spaces like this.
Yeah,
It'd be
indeed.
awesome.
And we've seen some of that happen already, of course, in COVID time. It's a little different than normal, but even so, there's a bunch of students in here now, all distance, taking classes, drinking coffee, doing the same kinds of things that you were doing maybe not taking Zoom classes in the early 70s.
No, not that we didn't have that, no.
Oh, well, so other than that, though, pretty similar in many
Yeah,
ways.
it's a great place.
It is. So, Cal, you've been associated with Trinity for a long time. Student, you've been on the board. You're currently vice chair of the board. Your wife, Marcy, is also a Trinity person, and your grandson's here. You've had kids go here. You live in Chicago. You're from Chicago. I mean, what does Trinity mean for you and for your family? And I guess why, at the end of the day, lots of Christian colleges, lots of colleges, why does Trinity matter so much to you? As we hear the ice getting poured.
That's the ice machine.
Exactly.
It's when I was deciding where I wanted to go to college, I wanted to find a place for me that would create an environment where I would have a significant experience. And I had no idea how big an experience this was going to be for me. It was a life changer. I was raised a Christian. I was always involved in Christian activities, but when I got here, I was presented with a new way of understanding what that Christianity meant to all areas of life. And that forced me to rethink a whole bunch of stuff that gave me a foundation for the rest of my life. So what does it mean to me? It was a huge game changer for me and for my wife. It helped us become people that understood that we could do God's kingdom work in whatever field I chose to be involved in. I ended up going into business. I came here planning on being a minister, and I ended up being a businessman. But it just kind of set the context for all of our decision making of trying to figure out how do we act Christianly in all areas of life, and how do we build our lives around the truth that our God is sovereign, and that He's our King, and that He rules over everything with His word of power, and we're here to do His bidding and to bring about restoration and reconciliation in the world. And here we are on the south side of Chicago, in a place where there are so many people that need hope, and it's always been that way. It's the same today as it was then. Trinity has such a unique opportunity, in my opinion, to be that source of hope in a world that is so full of anxiety right now and anger.
Yeah, amen to that. Thank you, Cal. And thanks for being here today. Eventually we're going to get a cup of coffee, though. The fireplace works really well, so
It's really warm here.
Might be more water than coffee early on. But anyway, so good to have you on campus. So good to hear from you, and thanks for everything that you have done, continue to do, and will do for the college. We're grateful for it.
You're very welcome. It's
Thanks,
an
Cal.
honor to be here.
Thank you.
Well, Cal is such a good guy. He's vice chair of our board, incredibly supportive of the college, and just flat out loves the place, both he and Marcy and their kids and now grandchildren as well. What you might not have noticed, however, is we were sitting really close to the fireplace, and it is a functional fireplace. It is warm.
Got a little toasty?
It got a little toasty, absolutely. Well, from the past to the present, we had the chance to talk with Cal, class of 72, and now we get the opportunity.
Now you're in for a real treat to hear from one of our current amazing students, Rayanne Fatma. Had spent some time wandering around campus, talking to our students who are here, asking them about how they're enjoying this new space and getting their perspective and their take on all things new, refreshed BBC.
Hey guys, it's Rayanne. I'm here to ask some people about their new favorite things about the newly renovated BBC. Of course, socially distanced. Let's go take a look. And we're here with Ryan Howie.
Hi, Rayanne.
And what is your favorite thing about the newly renovated BBC?
The leather seats. It feels so professional and fun, and I like them.
Rachel, what is your favorite thing about the newly renovated BBC?
I like the area where you order.
It's beautiful.
So like cafe, and it feels fancy to me.
He's in class. Sorry, Dr. Redman. Oi, mates. Around the corner are a couple more wild students. Let's see what they have to say. In one word, how would you describe the newly renovated BBC?
Innovative.
Innovative.
Modern.
Modern.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Innovated, modern, and gorgeous. Hello back there.
Hello!
Can you tell me your favorite part about the newly renovated BBC?
I love the floor.
The floor.
The floor.
What do you love about the floor?
It's not the old floor.
It's not the old floor. I'm gonna stick it right under here.
I love the floors.
Yes, we've already heard the floors.
I love the farmhouse kind of look, but it's like farmhouse chic.
Yes. What do you think is the most beautiful part of the newly renovated BBC?
I like the fireplace.
The fireplace, a classic.
Yeah, I really like that, but I have never really been in here since I'm a freshman, but I like that.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
It's actually really nice in here. It looks more like a cafe. They did a nice little job of renovating the place.
Agreed. Well, thank you for your time. Tell your professor I'm sorry.
I would surely do that. It's Redmond, so I don't think he minds.
Redmond again. We got Redmond again. Well, thanks for joining us for these socially distanced interviews in the newly renovated BBC. And now I'm gonna use this as a lightsaber.
Well, you can see why we absolutely love being here at Trinity. Our students are simply the best.
Indeed they are. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this evening. Thank you for those who've contributed to this project to make it possible. It's a little quieter here. The BBC's actually closed right now, and in COVID times, we're closing a bit early, and it's not as full as what we expect it to be in the near future. And of course, we always, have our masks close at hand. They're never far from us. But speaking of COVID time, in 2 weeks from tonight, we're going to have another one of these sessions, and we're going to focus on the In It Together Fund, the Trinity In It Together Fund. And you may have heard something about that, but that was a special fundraising event we did over the summer months where so many of you contributed to the success and the ability of our students to return to or come to Trinity. So you'll hear stories of gratitude and stories of how your giving to our students had an incredible impact in bringing them to this college and for the wonderful experiences that they're having. So we invite you to come back and join us in 2 weeks and look forward to spending that time with you. But until then, again, thanks so much for being with us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you soon. And as always,
Go Trolls!
indeed, good night.
Thank you.